little bit about your backgrounds and how you got started with GrandPad.
Great. I'll kick it off, everybody. So yeah, I'm Scott Lien here, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of GrandPad. My son Isaac, who you'll meet here in a minute, we started the company 6 years ago, and my career has always been in using technology to help improve people's lives. How can we take new technologies, like when the iPhone came out, what things could we do with that are truly useful and beneficial to people's lives? And we, Isaac and I saw at the time, my 80-year-old mom was struggling with technology. We were in California. She lived in Iowa, where I grew up. And we were not able to connect with her and do video calls like this. We weren't able to share photos of Isaac at the time, who was in high school sports and so on. And so we just set out to say, there's got to be a better way. We went out, we scoured the earth looking for a product that we could just plug in. And there wasn't anything. We tried a bunch of things and none of them worked. So Isaac and I, and then a whole team of people went off and created GrandPad. And that was 6 years ago. And now we're reaching thousands and thousands and thousands of people around the world in more than 70 countries. So we look forward to telling you more about that. But I'll introduce.
And when you guys were setting up when we were setting up this interview, and normally I like to give this compliment to the ladies, but I thought you and Isaac were brothers.
Oh, okay. Wow. Thank you. I appreciate that. Yeah. My younger brother.
Yeah, but that's, that is a great intergenerational entrepreneurship story in itself. You and your son coming together to create something where you can better communicate with your with your mom and grandmother. Which
is what our whole company is about, is bringing families together. Our slogan is keep your family closer. And so nothing is a greater joy than me to get to work every day with my son. I grew up on a farm, and I worked with my dad and my brothers and my sister and my mom. And so that's just very natural for us.
Great. Excellent. All right. Who wants to go next?
Isaac?
Yeah, I can go next. Hi, everybody. Nice to meet you. My name is Isaac Lien. I lead our employee experience and innovation at GrandPad. I'm also the co-founder along with my dad. And my background prior to GrandPad was, I've always loved technology and been interested in programming and building things that help improve people's lives. And my first kind of entry into this technology world was when I was 13. I developed the first app in the App Store that let people do math quizzes. Young children could learn their basic addition, subtraction, division, multiplication. So that was my first kind of toe in the water. And then we started GrandPad when I was a freshman in college, because of this divide that we saw where, I couldn't do a video call with my grandma, who was in Iowa, when I was in college in Southern California. So together, my dad and I went off on this journey to start GrandPad so that we could stay connected with my grandparents. And then eventually now, anyone has the option to connect with their grandparents through GrandPad.
Great. Excellent. And that leaves you, Kerry. Tell us a little bit about your role.
Certainly. My name is Kerry Burnight, and I am GrandPad's chief gerontologist. So after 20 years in geriatric medicine at the university, I knew it was really time to serve the seniors, and in a very meaningful, real-world way. And what I studied was the impact of loneliness. And when I discovered that this father and son duo had finally cracked the nut that all of us in gerontology and the Aging Network, I was delighted to join. And I'm coming on 5 years. And at GrandPad, I had research. And my most exciting is that I get to work with our Grand Advisors, who are a large team of adults ages 83 to 106 who guide us every step of the way in the process. So it's a gerontologist dream.
Wow. Well, I know everybody's really eager to learn more about that program, but again, we're excited to meet you all and learn about GrandPad. But remember what I said in the beginning, guys, about sort of inspiration and sort of thinking outside of the box. I mean, one of the really great things that I've learned here is that you're a tech company that realized that they should go out and get a gerontologist to be an integral part of the team. it would have been easy to just sort of create an app or, you know, create a product that has appeal to older adults. But the fact that, you know, you went and brought somebody on your team with expertise and training and education in the field of aging is very important. And it's a lesson for all of us to learn, because as we primarily in the field of aging need to kind of move into the tech world more, bringing, you know, individuals on our team that can speak that language and make sure that we do it. You can never say, you're never going to guarantee that you're going to do it the right way, but you can increase the chances that you do it the right way. So awesome meeting all of you guys. And so how about, there's some questions that are coming in, but how about you kind of run through what GrandPad is, how it works, and I really am interested in hearing about this Grand Advisor program as well. So feel free to.
Yeah, thanks for that. I'll just use a few slides as prompts with some pictures here, and then Isaac is going to give a short little demo, and we look forward to everyone's questions. We're an extremely mission-driven company. As I said, the reason why Isaac and I started this company was because of my mom and his grandma. And so this isn't just a mission statement that hangs on the wall. It's what guides us every day, every decision. Improve the lives of millions of seniors by reconnecting them with their family, friends, and caregivers. And the caregivers are both the unpaid caregivers, the friendly neighbor that helps out in a time of need with seniors, or of course, all the paid caregivers, doctors, nurses, and all the professional home care workers and so on, home health workers. And so what we believe is by reconnecting those groups in a safe, secure, efficient, and enjoyable way, you can really improve the lives, again, of the super seniors, but also of their families, right? So think about maybe that grandson who's in college and is having some struggles. If he can do video calls with his grandma and stay connected with her while he's off at college, like Isaac was, it can help him through a tough time in school. So it helps all participants in that circle of trust or circle of care. So our vision for the future is live in a world where there's no seniors who are lonely or isolated. And every senior has the opportunity to really live a grand life, live their best self, their best life. And that we use technology as a tool to bring people together, not to divide them. Sadly, you know, we see lots of examples where technology creates problems. And so we're very thoughtful on how we can use technology to really bring families together and caregivers with those seniors that they serve. So sadly, today, there are millions and millions of seniors in the US and around the world, like this awesome gentleman who his mind and body is healthy, but because of his age, and especially now with the COVID crisis, he's extremely isolated and lonely. Right? He likely lives independently in his own home in many cases, but maybe he's not able to drive, he's not able to get out and about, and now because of the lockdown, he's desperately lonely and isolated. We believe there's more than 400 million seniors worldwide who are just so disconnected right now. And we just think whether it's through GrandPad or other tools, we all have an imperative right now to reach out to these people, call them, video call them, send pictures, send them flowers and so on to be delivered to them so that they know that we care about them and we're staying connected. We kind of mentioned our Grand Advisors, and we believe that our Grand Advisors are really our secret sauce. And so in this picture, you see Justine, who's one of our product managers, out in the field in the home of one of our Grand Advisors, and our chief Grand Advisor there is Betty Parker, who's in the blue shirt. Betty is 90 years old in this picture. And continue on the theme of families, truth be known, Betty is actually Kerry's lovely mother. So we've actually employed Kerry and her mom and her son, both all part of our company. And Betty leads this group of Grand Advisors. They're all in their 80s, 90s, and 100s. I'll show you another one of our Grand Advisors on the next slide. They are all intimately involved in the whole product development and design process from the beginning. So our basic premise was none of us know what it's like to be 90 and have some of the physical and cognitive health challenges of someone in that age group, whether it's eyesight issues, hearing issues like my mom had, dexterity issues, or cognitive issues. So rather than try to guess what will work for them, we just ask them, we work with them, and they tell us and they guide us. And the awesome thing is they're fun, wonderful people to work with, and they guide us every step of the way from idea all the way through rollout. And you can see how intent they are on helping us, and they love it. It gives them a tremendous sense of purpose. Our oldest employee there is actually Elmer on the left, me on the far left, and then Elmer second from the left. Elmer we just celebrated Elmer's 106th birthday, 106 years old. And next to him is his son, Richard, who's 79. And then my son, Isaac, on the right there in our office in Orange, California. So another father-son team. And I hope that's me in 50 years. And Elmer is just such a vibrant, wonderful person. When we celebrated we did a virtual birthday party with him 2 weekends ago over Zoom. We have Zoom on GrandPad, so we're able to beam him in. And we had dozens and dozens of people from around the world. We sang him happy birthday. When Dr. Kerry asked him, Elmer, what's the secret to living a long, successful, happy, healthy life? And he paused and he said, treat each day like it's Christmas morning, because every day is a gift, and have that spirit. And he's just such a lovely person. It's a pleasure that we could get to work with him. So sadly, this loneliness issue, which is a solvable problem, right? There's a lot of diseases that we can't solve right now, and our wonderful healthcare workers are working on it, and some of these things are going to take a while to solve. But loneliness is solvable. But in the meantime, it is such a deadly disease. And you can see all the statistics here, but it nets out to equivalent to smoking 15 cigarettes a day. All the statistics say it's between 30 and 40% of the elderly in the US are desperately lonely and are suffering from this. And again, I think we all have a moral imperative to solve this problem. And then we see all the other challenges, like in the middle, how all the cyber scammers are coming after this age group at an increasing level, stealing their identity, stealing their money, just abusing them in horrible ways. It's gotten so bad that seniors are scared to answer their phone or answer their door because they're scared that it might be a scammer. And that's one of the core parts of GrandPad, that we call it the circle of trust. You're basically building a wall around that, a walled garden, and then all the people in that circle of care, family, friends, and caregivers, are allowed in through a validated process. They can phone call the senior, they can email the senior, they can do video calls. When the GrandPad rings, the senior will know that it's someone that they trust is calling. So the impact, of course, is just a huge negative impact on the seniors, and a tremendous impact on the healthcare industry. So we really feel like we've got to do something here. And our solution is, as we looked at this, originally we thought maybe we could just come up with an app on an iPad. And what we learned is you have to solve the whole problem: the hardware, the software, and the service. And Isaac will show you even the packaging. We came up with, we never thought we'd have to design a box, but what we found is the iPads, which I love Apple products, but an iPad in a standard box is almost impossible for someone who's 90 and has some dexterity issues to open. So we designed an easy to open box, everything you need. The software is built by our grant advisors, and it's done in the way that they love and want it. And then the service, white glove customer care that's available 7/24/365. One of our busiest days is Christmas morning, when seniors are opening up their GrandPads their family gave them. We're there to help them. So the customer care, and then the included LTE data, the 4G LTE data. So you don't have to worry about getting Wi-Fi and Wi-Fi passwords and all that nonsense. It's just there and it works. So I think with that, I'd like to have Isaac do a short little demo and tell you more about the solution. So take it away, Isaac.
All right, cool. And you can put the slide back up for a second. I'll show those next few slides as we go. So like Scott mentioned, it is all about that all-inclusive solution that solves all those points of frustration. So for here as an example, here's our packaging. We made sure that our packaging is really, foolproof, easy to open. Anyone can do it, no matter what type of dexterity challenges they have. So there's clear instructions with, a diagram you see that says lift flap, a big arrow showing where you can lift it. On every side of the box, there's our phone number, so they can call if they have any questions even before they unpackage it. And you just can easily lift that flap. We call it the pinky test. You should be able to unpackage and unbox the entire product with just light pressure from your pinky finger. And that lets us test, okay, even if you have dexterity challenges or tremors, things like that, you can still take the GrandPad out of the box. Nothing's zip tied or shrink wrapped. Another challenge we saw for many people with standard devices was, the power button is this small unmarked thing that's flush with the device. You have to hold it down for 12 seconds to turn it on, and plugging in the charging cord can be a challenge as well if maybe you have some tremors or are unable to see where that plugs in. So our charging cradle is this cradle you see here. It's a simple cradle that you just set the GrandPad on. We go to the next slide. It just sets on the cradle like that. When you put it in there for the first time, it automatically turns on. The cradle itself has an 8-foot-long cord that's fixed into the cradle and fixed into the wall, into the brick that goes into the wall. So there's no separate brick and cord. It's all one continuous long piece that can fit wherever is convenient for the user. So just things like this make it easier to get it out of the box, get going, especially for people who might be unfamiliar with technology. All right, you can unshare, and I'll show the GrandPad here. Okay. So here's the GrandPad screen, and you'll see, it's different than what you might see on a standard device. Rather than rows with dozens of apps and icons and notifications coming up all the time, it's much cleaner. It's much more minimal because we really focus on the things that are important. For instance, many of our users, it's the first multi-touch, smart device that they've used. So we help give them the confidence by having these instructions on the bottom of every screen. So even if it's their first time using GrandPad, or maybe they don't remember how to do something, they can always just read these instructions. So tap the arrows or tap the button to see more. I can simply tap these arrows to navigate. And again, you'll notice I'm tapping a 3-dimensional button to swipe. I'm not actually swiping with my finger. Most of our users, they haven't had experience swiping and navigating devices like this. If they do have experience or want to learn how, they can swipe. But we also work for people who don't have experience with swiping. So you can tap the buttons. They all look very 3-dimensional, so you know intuitively that you can press them. So calling. If my grandma wants to call me, she can just tap on my picture right here. It's that simple. It'll be a video call, and I can answer on whatever device I have. So the person they call does not need a GrandPad. I can answer on my smartphone or on my computer or my web browser and answer as a video call. My grandma doesn't need to log into anything separate or do anything, connect to Wi-Fi. Because we have that included internet connection, she can effortlessly just tap on a picture and be doing a video call with me. And this is a secure device, meaning the only contacts that can contact this device are the ones listed on this contact list here. No spammers, pollsters, bad guys can call the device by default. It's a walled garden that protects and doesn't allow all those spammers. Like on my phone, my iPhone, for instance, I get at least 2 or 3 spam calls a day. That doesn't happen on GrandPad.
Excuse me, Isaac. There was a comment, some people, it's hard to see the screen, so I want to tell everyone, if you want to see it in full screen, you should be able to click on the window where Isaac is demoing. There should be a little pop-up and you can say pin the video, and then it will make that one full screen, so it should be a little easier to see. Hopefully that helps.
Yeah.
Yep.
Also at the top of the screen, there's a speaker view and a gallery view, and the speaker view will focus on the person who's talking.
All right. Cool. So I'll keep going here. So some of the other things that I can show, other ways to connect and communicate with loved ones, is photos. So photos are a great way to connect with your loved ones. You can see all photos here. That's a picture of someone making some homemade kombucha, or see favorite photos, the photos that you really want to come back to and revisit. So these photos can be shared in the ways that the family members are already sharing photos. So for instance, someone can choose to link their Facebook account. So when then they post publicly on Facebook, those photos show up on GrandPad. The GrandPad user doesn't even need to have a Facebook account for that to work. You can just opt in as the family member who has a Facebook account. And that means when someone posts on Facebook, the photo shows up in my family on my grandma's GrandPad, and she can see it, she can comment on it, but the comments don't go out on Facebook, they show up just in the family network. You can also see videos work here as well. Other ways to share photos and videos are emailing. So someone in the family can email an attachment to GrandPad. So just send an email with a photo or video attachment. Those show up in the Photos app automatically. There's no need to download any zip files or anything like that to open the photos. They automatically show up here. And if I wanted to comment on a photo, or if my grandma wanted to comment on a photo, she can press this leave comment button. It'll do a countdown, and then it'll record her voice. And she can just speak her message, record, and then when she hits finish, it's actually going to send out a notification to everyone in the family, and they'll get an audio recording message that they can actually hear and listen to and hear what the comment was that she had on that photo. So it's a really rich experience, because when I share a photo, I can actually listen to what my grandma had to say about it, you know, listen to her real voice, and it's easier for her because she doesn't have to do any typing on a touchscreen. So that's the Photos app. One thing I'll show you here as well is we have a companion app that everyone in the family can use. It's on iPhone and Android, and I'll just show it briefly here. It's a feed that everyone, all these photos and great memories that are shared, they show up right on this feed. So not only does my grandma see the photos that I share, but all my cousins, aunts, and uncles, anyone in this circle of trust can see those photos and comment on them. This app is also where I can initiate video calls with the GrandPad user as well via our contacts list. Okay, other things you can do to connect. Emails. Emails are really easy to send. They come in, each new email looks like a letter. If I want to send an email to somebody, I just tap on their picture. I don't have to type in, you know, so-and-so@gmail.com. All the contact information that I've shown, as well as the other settings, can be remotely configured by what we call the family admin. That's, in many cases, it's the adult son or daughter of the senior who's using GrandPad, who has the ability to make additions, add contacts, edit the settings on GrandPad via the free iPhone and Android app that they have. So that can all be configured and set up remotely. So if I wanted to send an email, I tap on their picture, and it does a voice recording, just like the photo commenting did. And this is also a protected whitelist, so no spammers or anyone can't send emails to the GrandPad unless they're on the contact list. There's a camera where you can take and share photos. You can save them just for yourself, or you can share them out with your circle of trust. There's a news app where you can view different types of curated content. So whether it's current events, history, arts and crafts, GrandPad news, and just like everything else, this can be customized for the user. So if they really like news and history, they can have that show up. They really like arts and crafts and recipes, that can be what shows up here, and the other news sources can be turned on and off. Weather is a very popular app because they can see their own weather, but with a forecast, but also you can go in and see the weather of everyone who's in your circle of trust. So, okay, in Isaac's hometown in Orange, California, that's the weather with the local time as well. And Susan's in Boston, here's her weather. So it lets you feel that much more in the loop and connected, because you can see, oh, yeah, here's the weather, here's the local time for the people that I care about. Music. So music is something we think is, you know, really powerful, and the research is showing that being able to listen to emotionally salient music that you listen to, you know, in your 20s and 30s really can have powerful benefits to people. And, you know, it's the challenge is, though, for many of our users before GrandPad, it was really hard for them to find that music that they love. You know, it's, you turn on the radio and it's pop music and it's not the stations they like or the songs or artists they like. But what we've done is we've curated these genres here, so that you can go and play American classics or country music. And this is actually curated by a professional music therapist on our team. So if I go play country, it's not going to be necessarily just the top 40 country music that might be on the radio. It's country music curated for the preferences of people typically 75 and older. So it's the songs that they would have grown up with listening to. So you can listen to any of these genres, and then the songs that you like, you can add to your favorites.
Girls in white dresses with blue satin sashes.
And you can play that music anytime. One thing I'll also point out, which you can't demonstrate well over video, but in real life you'll see the GrandPad has two front-facing speakers on the front of it. So those speakers are facing you. They're loud, crisp, and clear. So music comes through really loud and clear, and also video calls come through audio really loud and clear. So that's great to be able to listen to, you know, that audio. You don't need to plug in headphones to be able to do a call. And even for people with moderate hearing impairments, you can still hear quite well. Games. So games are another really popular feature on GrandPad. You can stay entertained. You can keep your mind active. Solitaire is one of our most popular games, because it's a popular game in general. You know, you can play in a really effortless way. But unlike most of the solitaire games on smartphones or iPads, we don't have ads or all that other stuff with microtransactions. It's all just included in GrandPad. It's designed for the needs of the user, just like everything else is on GrandPad. So the games are very engaging. Bingo is another really fun one that people like. I'll join and resume my game here. You can see it's very, lively and lots of good, nice animations and sounds. And we'll do things like game tournaments where we'll say, okay, this weekend's the bingo tournament, and the users all play and compete over the weekend. And the winners will actually send real world prizes out to the users. So they will get an actual trophy if they won the bingo tournament or the solitaire tournament, for instance. So it really helps drive that sense of community and engagement. One of the things as well that is really important is our help. So customer support is available always at one tap away. So if you ever have a question, you need help from somebody with using your GrandPad, you can call our customer support team. We're there 24/7. We're US based. These are GrandPad employees who can help you with anything that the user needs. We're patient. We don't try to get people off the phone quickly. We're really there with that helpful voice. You can help them when they have a question. And it's great because sometimes people are hesitant to ask their family members or caregivers, but they know we're always there to help them. And we even do proactive support. So when someone gets a GrandPad, we'll actually call that user on the GrandPad and introduce ourselves, let them know we're there to help. They can also watch training videos if they want to get some self-serve help when they need it. So those are some of the ways to kind of connect and stay entertained with GrandPad, but we also have some beneficial features that help people stay more healthy. So we have our wellness button. This pairs with our wellness wearable. It is a wearable bracelet that has a 3 to 6 month battery life. They just put it on once. They don't have to charge it every night, and it's pre-synced to the GrandPad. They don't have to do any Bluetooth pairing. And it tracks things like their steps, their hours active and inactive, their sleep as well. And then we also integrate with a smart scale. So they have a smart scale that has over a year battery life. They just step on it. It takes their weight. It sends it up to the GrandPad, and that information can also be shared with their care team and their family, whoever has permission to view that data. And that data can then be used to see, okay, how's this person's weight doing? How's their sleep and steps? To kind of get that holistic picture of how they're doing. That data is also shared in a dashboard we have called the Partner Portal. So healthcare partners who have a fleet of GrandPads deployed to their users or clients, they have access to the Partner Portal, which lets them see, here's all the GrandPads in my fleet. Here's what the usage is like. This user's, spending a lot of time doing video calls and sending emails. You can just see at a high level, how are they spending their time on GrandPad? And from that Partner Portal as well, you can go and you can initiate video calls with any of those users directly. So it's a great way to do remote check-ins or, beam into somebody via video call, especially now when they're, in many cases, the users are stuck at home or they can't leave their room in their facility. It's a great way to be able to have that face-to-face connection in a time like this. We also have a partnership with Lyft that allows the user to get transportation solutions. So we've built a really custom, simple way to request a Lyft ride. It's not just the Lyft app that's on our phone. It's a much more simple experience where they can request the ride. There can be predefined destinations. And that family admin or family caregivers, they can get real-time updates via SMS, text message as the ride is being requested. So my mom's requested a ride, she's on her way, she's arrived. That can all be seen in real time. And they can also press this help button anytime they have a question, or if they want to help us, call us and we can fully request the ride for them remotely via Concierge style. And then some of the last things I'll show here, we have the ability to do daily surveys for the users. So we can ask questions like this, asking how they're doing. They can rate on a scale here. And again, these are shared with the family admin as well as the care team. So you can see how do they report that they're doing and how does their view of their own health change over time. We can also ask questions that are recorded. So this one, it'll ask this question and then it'll do a countdown and record their voice. So now everyone in the family can get that recorded audio version, and you can see how they're doing and really hear their voice to get that sense of how they're doing. So that's kind of the quick overview of GrandPad. So we'd love your questions.
Wow. Well, great demo there. And we got tons of questions and comments that are coming in. But again, I think obviously, one of the themes that we had two tech entrepreneurs last week and one of the things that I'm always intrigued by is the ability for organizations to change as you see the different users' needs. And I love how you shared the box in your box design, because I can imagine that the first round of GrandPads that went out did not necessarily have that easy to use, intuitive box design. And
That's right.
so it's again, another great lesson for all of us to we rarely get things right the first time, but
Right.
what you can see is the evolution of a very well-designed product that I'm sure had quite a few speed bumps on the way.
Yep.
Let's see. Let's start on the Q&A list here, and we'll just kind of go down the list. I got an email yesterday from Amber Sultane from AARP, because she bought one of these devices for her brother who has intellectual disabilities, and it's working well for him. And she was wondering, have you considered sort of modifying this product for that audience?
Yeah, absolutely. And we have many customers that are not in the super senior age group. Again, super seniors, we really focus on age 75 and older, but there are many people. I'm thinking of one customer that he's in his 40s and he was in a car accident and is paraplegic, and standard technology does not work for him. So we absolutely encourage people to use it wherever it makes sense. But as a company, we see such an enormous need for focusing on this wonderful group of super seniors. Until we've completely solved that, we're gonna stay focused, because that's one of the challenges. If a company starts to try to take on too many things, they kind of become a jack of all trades and master of none. We're really focused on the super senior age group, and that's what we're going to stay on that.
This is a common question in chat and on the is who does all this setup? So like, you've got all these names loaded in here.
Yeah.
Can you explain how that's done, and how can that be modified and updated?
Yeah, and if I could expand that question, because I've seen the chats come up. So first, we have two versions of our product: the B2C direct-to-consumer version, which you can come on our website, grandpad.net, and click the Buy Now button, and it will take you to one of our distribution partners, Consumer Cellular, and you can buy it. And that's meant for, I want to buy one for my mom, one at a time. That's the B2C version. And that version is also available in Target stores, on target.com. You can go do, order online and do an in-store pickup. And that pricing is $250 up front and $40 per month for all the service. Our enterprise edition, that I think pertains more to the group bulk of your audience, and really a B2B enterprise, where maybe I run a facility, or I'm a home health organization. I want to buy dozens or hundreds for my clients and integrate it into my service and really integrate it into my business. That has additional features and lots of extra things, like some of the things Isaac showed you with the wearables and so on. So for those, just come to our website, grandpad.net, and click the For Business button that's on the top. And that brings you into the business section of our site. And then we engage with you directly, and call the number there, or our live chat. And basically we do a custom quote for you based on your needs and what you need. And in that case, there's no upfront fee. Most businesses don't want to buy and own these things. It's really kind of a lease or a SaaS, software as a service model, and you just pay a monthly fee. And again, depending on your needs and what you have, it's somewhere around $60 a month, which essentially works out to the same price as a consumer. Instead of a $250 up front and a monthly fee, it's just a flat pay-as-you-go monthly fee. So I wanted to make that point clear. And so when we talk about the enterprise B2B version, the setup can happen by us, our customer care. We take care of all that. It can happen by that family administrator that Isaac mentions, or it can be taken care of by the B2B, the enterprise. Let's say it's a home health agency. So as part of your service, you might provide this to a new client, and we have tools. It's called Partner Portal, where you can set up and say, I'm assigning this GrandPad to my new client, Mrs. Smith, and we're doing these things. Again, the home health agency can do that setup. We can do it, or the family administrator. but it's really, really easy. It doesn't take any time. The family can do it on the companion app. So hopefully that helps answer that question. Also answer some of the questions about pricing.
Great, great. And let's see, Linda has her hand raised. I just noticed this. Linda, do you have a question that you'd like to ask the team or comment? Linda Rand? Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, yeah.
There we go. It's new technology to me too, and I am not a super senior. Actually, you somewhat answered it. I'm obviously involved as a nurse in hospice, and one of the issues that we're dealing with in the hospitals right now is connecting our patients to their families who can't be present with them. And even once they're home in isolation, the same thing, because we have tried just using iPads unsuccessfully. They can't use them. They struggle with them. So it usually takes one of our team members going in and doing it with them. So awesome, amazing product that I can definitely, even with the hospice, see such a tremendous benefit to. And we'll certainly bring it back to my leadership team.
Great.
As well. So
thank you, Linda.
Yeah.
And to the rest of the attendees, if you want to, you can type in your Q&A or you can raise your hand and we'll call on you. But the Catherine McCallum says, does this replace the phone? So how is this a phone replacement?
Yeah, it has full inbound and outbound phone calling, and there's configuration options there. You can restrict it and say the only people who can call in are those people in the circle of trust, the family, friends, and caregivers, or you can open that up. So that's configurable. But yes, it can take inbound phone calls. It can be assigned a phone number, and you can call around the world. So if you got family members living in London, you can call, and that cost of that call is all built in. That's just part of that monthly fee. There's no extra charge for that.
Oh, this is a good question. How does it work with people with limited vision and low vision issues? Are there any adaptations for that?
There is the way the whole screen. So it's a good sized tablet. It's maybe a little hard to see. It's an 8-inch tablet, so it's pretty good size. Everything is very large, and Isaac kind of talked about that triple redundancy. The colors, and we do lots of testing to make sure the contrast, the colors is there, the actual the words being on the screen, and then the positional placement of them. So and then we also do use voice in selected places throughout. So one of the questions we're often asked is, hey, does it have full voice support like Alexa or Siri? And the answer is, we've actually found many of our clients are really confused by some of the voice pieces. So we do have, but we have limited voice. So like when you leave an email, you can just speak it and you don't have to type it. So that really helps both with vision and dexterity issues. So yeah, there's explicit design to help with vision. We do have a lot of clients that have very severe vision loss. We've even been told we have some clients that have almost complete vision loss, and they're able to do things because of the way it's designed and the positional and the way that it clicks and makes a sound. They find it very easy to use. Great.
Another big fan of yours, she was talking to me about 3 or 4 months ago about, you got to get GrandPad to come speak at, that's when we did live events, not these online events. Joan Green, and she has a question, what wellness wearables is it compatible with? I believe you talked about a device that measured.
Yeah, we go through a very detailed curation and testing process to test the things that we include, and the one that Isaac showed is a wearable that is an add-on, and I think Isaac just put in the chat window, that would be in a B2B enterprise solution. If having a wearable was important to you, then we would include that in your proposal. But other Bluetooth connected devices, it does support Bluetooth, so some of those other ones can work. We have a curated body weight scale that is cloud connected, and then the body weight shows up on GrandPad. So we look at each one of those. I have an Apple Watch and I love it, but sadly the Apple Watch has to be charged every day. And we found that particular one to be quite confusing, and not very super senior friendly. Again, some people works great, and if it does, that's fantastic. But we just carefully curate each of the devices and make sure that they work really well and they're loved by the seniors.
This is a good question here. Is there financial assistance for low-income seniors? And also, I believe I got a press release about some initiatives that you guys are taking part of with COVID-19. Maybe talk about both of those simultaneously.
Yeah, I'll take the first part of that, and then Kerry, please add to it. But so we absolutely, a number of our B2B enterprise partners are participating in various financial assistance programs, and specifically like the PACE programs around the country. And a number of our partners are either, and many of them are nonprofit type organizations. So they're procuring funding through different either governmental agencies or philanthropic donors, and then using that to fund their service, which in many cases then includes GrandPad. So absolutely, that is something, and we do whatever we can, whenever we can, to help those organizations. But Kerry, anything you would add to that?
Well, in regard to the question about the COVID-19 pandemic, is that, as we all know, it was rough before, but now the isolation has so increased with older adults, and there are, the physical manifestations, not to mention those who are hospitalized and can't visit their family. So we feel like we are not only supporting the older adults, but also their families. So encouraging and enabling families to have all the family members connecting and using all the features. So every day sharing pictures, every day doing video calls with family members of all ages, making sure that we're emailing and including. And even there's been some end of life scenarios that we've been really honored to be a part of. When a user can no longer press a button because their health is so deteriorated, we have an auto on feature. So the GrandPad can be bedside. And when I go then to call my loved one, I press a button on my phone, it goes through into the hospital, into the GrandPad, and it just comes on automatically. So I was on a call yesterday with someone who was nonverbal and non-responsive, and yet I could get right in and say, "Hi there, I'm thinking about you." And we had a lovely conversation, even though it was just a one-sided conversation.
Yeah, it's just a way to, again, with the proper consent and privacy, of course, in place, but a way just to beam right in and be with that person and provide comfort in a tough situation.
Great. Here, let me get Patricia. Patricia, you had a question or comment?
Yeah, hey, this is a really fun product. I'm in the home care world working with Steve Lorberbaum at Assisting Hands in Bethesda, and I'm thinking of this more in the terms of folks who we work with that are at risk for fall. So I put it in my chat, but I didn't see Isaac respond yet. Is there like a Hey Siri? Is there some way that they can say, "Hey, I've fallen and I can't get up"? Or is there any kind of...
Yeah, I can take that one. So we are continuing to explore and investigate all of those. So currently that feature is not there. But we are looking at it, working on it, and looking at some partnerships with other people who have devices. The risk is, sadly, there's been a number of devices in the marketplace who have claimed to do that and have not done it well, and have given people a false sense of hope around that, like devices they can wear that will detect falls and so on. So we don't make that claim. We don't market that. We are working on it and looking at it. But we actually take a different approach also. All those kind of devices are kind of reactive, like the problem has happened. I've fallen and I can't get up. Like the damage is already done, then the person likely is injured. We really, and Isaac talked briefly about our daily Connect service, we really want to be proactive and be checking in with the person, and either the professional caregiver or the family is proactively checking in and knowing, hey, when you check in the morning, the senior might say, you know, gosh, I'm just not feeling right today. I'm feeling a little dizzy and lightheaded. Okay, stay sitting down. Don't start moving around. We're going to come over and check in on you before you fall. So we've kind of flipped that. But of course, we want to get other devices, but we just haven't found anything yet that is really up to the level that we think is needed.
Thanks for
Kerry
that. And
Gross. Oh, sorry.
I also just, I was just going to say, I also saw on your website that you are kind of connecting up with the telemedicine thing, which is also huge right now. So do you want to speak about that just a little bit? I'll get off, Steve. Thanks.
Good.
Yeah, so absolutely. The telemedicine and video calling, both with family, caregivers, doctors, nurses, is essential. And that's been a key feature from the beginning. So we have built-in video calling in GrandPad that can be used between family and also professional caregivers. It has a number of great features, like you can, with proper consent, record the video call so it could become part of the medical record as needed. Built into that is also what we call real-time texting. So if the senior has hearing challenges, you can put the words right on the screen so that they can also see the words. In addition to that, we support full Zoom capability in a very simple, I still struggle with Zoom sometimes myself, and this is like a really simple, engaging, secure version of Zoom that can be used in a telehealth healthcare setting that is fully HIPAA compliant, as well as we do support and work with other leading telehealth providers. So that is a key feature, and a number of our enterprise partners are using that every day.
Terry Gross is asking about experience with this product with people and with dementia. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I'll let you take that one, Kerry. It is used, many of our customers in their 80s, 90s, and 100s, and sadly, many suffer from dementia. But Kerry, go ahead.
Yes, that was very important to us to be able to serve all seniors. And I will answer it with an example. We have a client who was in the advanced stages of Alzheimer's disease, and her daughter purchased the GrandPad for her. She was residing in a skilled nursing facility. And in the beginning, when this woman was able to, there were a few buttons she would press. But over time, as she lost the ability to engage, there was just the one, and the one was music. And this, she enabled us to share her name. Her beautiful name was Althea. And what was really meaningful to her were hymns from her childhood. And so the GrandPad, it was all hymns from her childhood. And not only would she enjoy them, but despite being nonverbal, she would sing the words along with the GrandPad. And it just meant everything to the family. So we really, many of you are familiar with that documentary Alive Inside. And if you're not, I would recommend it, about how we can use music. Additionally, just the simplification of everything and the ability for either like in a business to business setting, you can look in and see your different users and see their usages, or in a family setting, I can, for example, see the usage of my 91-year-old mother, and I can see what she's doing. And then over time, there's just incredible opportunities for health trends and AI. So getting it in the hands of seniors that they love it has been so rewarding, because now it's just, the sky's the limit of what we can do together as a community.
Great. Okay, let's see. I'm trying to pick some of the questions that may be, okay, so how about the ability for an individual user to add an app to the GrandPad that they may like, a specific unique app?
So we've taken the approach of, we think, based on our super seniors and our grand advisors' feedback, what we tried to do is curate the 10 or 20 apps that they really love and want and need, and those are the ones that are available. So it's the 10 you want, not the 10 million that confuse you. So there is around 20 today. We do gradually add more over time, like Isaac talked about our simplified version of Lift that has more safety features built in. But you you are not able to go download apps out of the Apple App Store, the Google Play Store, and that we found that to be a real benefit. So there's the set of apps. Now, Isaac also touched on, we do have our simple, safe internet browser, and that is any of these things can be turned on or off, and I saw a question about that. Some people might only have video calling, photos, and music, and that's it. And those can be turned off by us, by their caregiver, or by the family. So you can really simplify it down. But one of the options you can have is the simple, safe browser. And within that, you can kind of give free range to the internet if you want, or you can just lock it in and say, I just want 3 bookmarks. I just want to be able to, on Sunday, I want to watch my church service, streaming church service, as people are locked in now, and they just click on that bookmark. Basically, it's an app button, and then it's going to stream that church service on Sunday. Or I might want to just go to the AARP website for more information. Or if there's a more generalized website, you can put it, and they can use that. Like if they want to log into a caregiver portal or their hospital's portal, they can do that. So that gives them a lot of flexibility, but that's configurable.
And I believe you mentioned AARP. I think that AARP offers these through their program as well, correct?
Yeah, if you go to our website and hit buy now, that takes you to our distribution partner, Consumer Cellular. And through Consumer Cellular, if you're an AARP member, you actually get an additional discount. So yes.
Okay. Okay, that's good to know. The and let's see, is the scale and the wearables, are those only B2B, or can consumers buy those as well? That's
right. Yeah, that's right. It's only for B2B enterprise partners. So again, based on your needs, we configure a solution for you that might include the scale or the wearable. And then, and I think the other important thing we didn't say is it can also be customized and branded for your organization. So
okay.
Custom, branding and custom concierge apps and so on.
I know that question was from Amber from AARP, who bought this for her sister. And so if she's already got the GrandPad, could she link up with a B2B partner to get those devices?
Generally not, but we're always willing to try to help people, so they can reach out, and we'd love to see what we can do to help.
We'll have her get in touch. Have you had any experience working? We usually get a lot of people from the villages on these calls, and there's a question related to have you worked with any of the age-in-place villages that are across the nation in partnership?
We absolutely have. Yeah, we love that organization. We've met a number of the leadership team. We've participated. Dr. Kerry's been a keynote speaker at their conference. So yes, and we would love to work with them more. So feel free to reach out to us on our website, and we can connect.
I hear it's solely because of the of this webinar, by the way, that Consumer Cellular and Target appear to be sold out. There's somebody posted something like that. Are there some other resources if you kind of try to buy this at Target and you can't see it?
Yeah, so demand has, we're thrilled to help be part of the solution. Demand has been overwhelming over the last 8 weeks. So please check back. There's more stock coming in almost every day. So please check. There is still a bunch of them available out in Target stores. The central, like if you go to target.com and say, I want an order shipped directly to me, it'll say it's out of stock. But many of the local Target stores, so you can order it with the Target store in your neighborhood, and then you go do an in-store pickup. But I think for all the B2B enterprise partners, just contact us directly. We have plenty of stock, and we can work with your enterprise. And again, those are generally organizations that are looking to order, 10, 50, 100, or 1,000, for their operation, and then get some of these enterprise customized features that we've talked about. So we absolutely have more, and there's more coming every day, and we can definitely get them to you. So just reach out to us directly.
And Ken Silverstein asked, and I'm curious about this too, is how many users do you have?
Hundreds and hundreds of thousands. We're a private company. So we provide the tablet, the GrandPad tablet, in the United States, Ireland, and UK. And we also have a partner in Portugal. So those are the 4 countries that we ship the tablet, and it is country specific because we make sure we have high quality customer care available in country, and that all the data connectivity is really tested and validated. So, but the companions, the family, friends, and caregivers that Isacc mentioned, they use our free app on their iPhone or Android phone. Those users are in 73 countries now around the world. So we have a lot of users, and it's growing very, very fast.
Wow. And, I think that that people can have confidence that they're not the only one. I mean, probably 6 years ago, that first pioneering group of subscribers that you had, there was a lot of changes and a lot of little hiccups. And it seems like after, with that many users and all over the world, that you're pretty dialed in.
We are, and I think some of the largest healthcare organizations in the world, who they obviously put you through a very rigorous vetting process. One of them took 1.5 years to get through their vetting and data security and vendor onboarding. We've successfully, won those partnerships, and one that I'll mention as an example because they're just a wonderful partner. Dr. Carla Personoto, who's one of the leading gerontologists in the world, is at UCSF Hospital System in San Francisco. They're a customer. We enjoy a great relationship with them, and they're a wonderful organization to work with. So, yeah, we take the data privacy and security extremely seriously, and so we know that that's important to all the healthcare organizations.
Great. And I'm over our 1 o'clock time, but I just want to rip through these last questions. Can the apps be rearranged so that ones that are most used are on the first screen?
Currently not, and the reason we found that less, it's the old Leonardo da Vinci saying, simplicity is the ultimate form of sophistication. So we really strive to keep things simple and have as few moving parts. So we absolutely remove things, but they are in the same order, and there's a reason they're in that order.
Okay. And then after the setup and the launch, how do you sell the monthly expense for a more tech-savvy senior? So I'm assuming that might be referencing somebody that's got a phone and an iPad, and then now the family presents them with the GrandPad.
Yeah. Again, on the B2B enterprise side, what we really recommend is people integrating this into their business, into their care service. Like if I'm a home health agency as an example, and that you're really looking at the ROI to your organization. So we work with many organizations that have clients spread all over a large metropolitan area or across a rural area. Instead of having to drive 45 minutes to see a client, they can save that windshield time by just beaming in, the windshield time, the mileage, and it allows them to actually touch more clients in the course of a day in a richer way. So in a business context, we work with you, it has to make business sense, and there has to be a good return on your investment. Every time our business partners look at that, they see an overwhelming ROI because of either operational savings or improved quality of life for the seniors. For a B2C customer, again, if they're the $40 per user per month for the service, that includes unlimited 4G LTE data, all the music, all the customer care, everything. I don't know about you, but my Verizon bill is a lot more than $40 a month. So generally, and in some cases, people are able to turn off other services that they have. But usually people that use it say it's absolutely worth it to have that connection.
Great. All right, guys, thanks for hanging in there longer. This was a fascinating discussion. I'm really impressed with your product, and really the way that your organization has pivoted and embracing older adults and creating a solution. I will make sure to share contact info with the attendees, and I'll share our attendee list with you guys as well if you wanted to reach out directly. Any last closing statements or?
Yeah, I would just say thanks for having us on. We appreciate it. Feel free. Our 800 number is on our website. Call us, our customer care team. Those are all our employees. Or you can live chat with them. We'd love to connect with anyone and work with your individual business. But the thing I would just ask all of us is, call the super senior in your life today. Do a video call with them, send them a photo or video. It means the world to them. Most of these folks have now been, locked in for more than 8 weeks, and it's really, really wearing on them. And so that's our call to action, is connect with every senior you can.
Great words of wisdom. Thanks again, and really appreciate it. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.